guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are actually going to take a look at the Xbox Series X. So we're going to unbox this bad boy, as we did unbox the PlayStation 5 yesterday, and I went over my initial thoughts. Now I haven't played it yet, so I'm saving that till actually I unbox the Series X. And the reason why I did that was I didn't want to have any favoritism here, and I am an Xbox fan. So what I want to look for, and these are key things, I'll leave a link to the PlayStation 5 Xboxing so you can see what I thought about it and how I felt about the plastic and how wobbly and cheesy it felt. I know that the controller was amazing, but anyway, that's a different video. So we're going to find out if they did certain things they did here, or did one outdo the other. So guys, it actually says here, power your dreams. Okay. Now, as far as weight goes, I find they both weigh about the same. Maybe this one a little lighter. Okay, so this one is basically a lift top. I kind of like that kind of box. Oh, wow. Okay, so that is pretty cool. So what? Wow, hold on. I don't normally care about how something looks when you open it, but that is total presentation. That looks amazing. That is something that takes pride. Well packed. Very, I don't know what to say there. That just looks good. Power your dreams. Sorry, Sony, but you lost on packing. Okay, so it's automatically a loss on Sony for packing. So Sony cheaped out on packing for the element of surprise. The Xbox definitely gives me that element of surprise. So now let's take a look at the box. Okay, so it's just kind of a open. Now, a couple things I want to look for. Well, they both lose on the cables. I don't want to say one's better than the other because I really don't know. This one just has HDMI and stuff written on it. It does not have Xbox logos, which is now a big shocker. Now, it is possible that both companies use the same supplier when it comes to this kind of stuff. It is very possible, actually. So you basically get your HDMI, your power cord. Again, there's no brick. Power supply is built in, just like the PlayStation. And you get your manual. Microsoft. So, a little disappointing on both consoles when it comes to their cables. Not saying the cables are bad. Never saying that both of them are just cheap. Well, technically, I call it cheaping out. It is cheaping out. Every console I've had from Microsoft in the past, if you got an HDMI cable, you had an Xbox logo stamped in it. When I had PlayStation cables, you had a PlayStation logo stamped into it. Neither of the consoles win on this one. So far, one for the Microsoft and 0 for the PlayStation. And that is only because of packing. The enjoyment of the packing. So here we go. Both of them are kind of in the same type of, like everything. Just that plasticky. Oh, and it looks like the... So you get batteries included. See if I can make out what they are. Just says not rechargeable. They look like Duracells. Can't really say they're Duracells. I'm not going to say they're Duracells, so don't quote me on that. So the control... Ooh. Okay. Let me just get a... This might actually be a tough one. Now, I've been a fanboy of the Microsoft controller ever since it launched, because it derives from the Dreamcast controller, and it's just like the elevation or evolution of a Dreamcast controller, and that's something I always like. The D-pad is smaller now. It reminds me of the Elite controller. Not saying it is as good, because this controller feels cheaper than the Elite controller. Now, I just happen to have an Xbox One controller here, and I'm going to be honest, blunt and honest. I like the Xbox One controller over the Xbox One X controller. And the reason why I'm going to say that right off the bat is build quality. I think, hands down, and I really can't believe I'm saying this, Sony has a better made controller as far as feel goes. You heard me say it. I can't believe I said that. Really can't believe I said that. So now we're tied. 1-1. Xbox wins on presentation. Sony wins on feel, fit, and finish on the gamepad. Hands down. This feels... It's supposed to feel like there's this rubbery look back here, but it's not. It's kind of like a bumpy, cheesy plastic. Buttons feel great. Don't get me wrong. A lot of click going on in that D-pad. Again, until I play it, I have to go by how I feel unboxing it. Both are USB-C now. I just want to make that clear. I forgot to mention that. It's USB-C for charging the PlayStation and for plugging in the Xbox. So far, I'm not seeing a Xbox USB-C cable included, which I think is kind of off. I actually surprised. I know it'll probably come with a play-in charge or whatever, but you would think they would have it just to plug in if you didn't have batteries. But anyway, Sony takes this one. Don't know what else to say. Okay, so let's get this unwrapped and see what we have. Right off the bat, we already can see the PlayStation 5 is a monster compared to this machine. There's no qualms or... I don't even need to see it. Yes, I'm opening this very carefully. I don't get to keep them. I always feel that if I open something that doesn't belong to me, if I have to send it back, make it look the way it came. So bear with me here. Okay, so right off the bat, we're greeted with the bottom. The bottom is a rubberized disc. And it looks like there's some air holes here. I hope there's more. Yeah, okay. So there's little air intakes here as well. So that's really good. On the back we have the... Oh, that's interesting. So Microsoft has gotten rid of their in and out as well. It's just a one HDMI network, 2 USB 3s, power, and now you have a storage expansion that you just plug in. So that's going to be an M.2 storage expansion. That's going to be pretty cool. And you can tell it's M.2 just because of the design. So it's going to be a solid state for sure. So that's really cool. Let's talk about the front. I love the PC look here. So here's your optical drive, Blu-ray, whatever. USB 3 in the front. And your power button. Nope. Probably a link or reset button. Power button's right here. The sides are just plain, and then the top you have your green and a mesh with the big fan in it. So I believe this is a, I'm going to say 200 mil fan, I'm thinking. So now, let's go head to head. Okay, so on style, fit, and finish, Microsoft is the winner as far as the shell goes. This case is solid. I don't feel cheaped out in any which way on this shell. Sony, on the other hand, I found this to be very flimsy, as I talked about in my last video, which again will be linked. And I found the plastic to feel kind of, I don't know, cheap Chinese toy. I'm sorry to say it that way, but that's how I feel. It feels like they put all this into the controller, and the controller feels great. And then Microsoft put all of it into the case, but their controller, I don't like the back. The back is bothering me. I don't like it at all. I don't like how it feels right now. The plastic doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel as good. That's a good word? It doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel as good. And I'm so much more of an Xbox fan, but I keep following myself towards this controller, not because I like the layout more, because it feels better. It actually feels better. And another thing I wanted to point out, I did take a PS4 controller and compare it. Sorry, the D-pad does move all buttons on the PS4 as well. I must have been thinking older. Secondly, this thing is twice the weight of a PS4 controller, meaning the battery technology in here must be much better, giving you a longer battery runtime than the original controller. That is my only assumption there, because all the weight is right here in the center where the battery would be. That tells me that is a move that Sony made there great. And of course, Sony's one-up is the rechargeable battery built in. Xbox's is still AA batteries. When will they get rid of that? Well, at some points, I say it's better for the simple reason I can change batteries, and if it's rechargeable, I'm easily accessing them. Whereas with the PlayStation, it's a sealed controller. Not as easy. I mean, there's definitely going to be workarounds. We're going to figure that out down the road as time comes or is needed. But at the same point, I'm going to call these two, I hate to say it, we're on a straight up tie here. I don't find one better than the other cosmetically, because points wise, failed on a console, win on the console. Oh, actually, I guess we do have a winner, but it all came down to packaging. So if I want to give it the 1 point for packaging, the Xbox wins. Their presentation was solid. That box was amazing. Well done. Well done, Microsoft. Sony really copped out on packaging. They really copped out on cables, as well as Microsoft copped out on cables. In my opinion, the cables that come with these were a complete cop-out, or let's rush it to market. Cables aren't ready with our logo on it, and that was the end of it. So anyway, guys, now I have to get both these guys up and running, find out how I really feel about these two consoles, head-to-head. Is there a big difference? Will I fall in love with this PlayStation controller? Will I hate that thing so bad? Let's find out in the next videos. So guys, thank you for watching. This is the unboxing of the Xbox Series X. My thoughts versus the PS5. And let's see where we go from here. Till next time, guys, game over.